Hey, Papa's feeling a little frisky. uh, Ironically, I don't have my mic. What's the point of buying a really cool microphone if it's too heavy and big to carry around in everyday life, right? I guess so is the schedule of somebody that does this. Today I'm just gonna talk my unpopular opinions on uh, the business in the United States, and I'm talking about sex in US. Sex in USA. Uh, I have a lot of unpopular sexual opinions, so I'll try to summarize them as quickly as I can. First things first, I think once you hit past the point of 30, I think you should just be like a sexual playground for younger people. I think honestly, it's gonna get harder to lock down somebody your age, and I think ironically, like women get this thing where they get a certain age and then they just want to trap every person they meet, and that's just like completely unsexy, and they're like completely not understanding of the fact that like the body counts between genders is like, at least for hetero people, is so. Well, actually, you know what? No, on this channel we believe in taking risks. I think that even for gay people, the submissive ones are like completely fucking unaware because it's the same as women. Anyway, go back to both of them. Women, the rest seem to not get that we're just not throwing up the same numbers. We're not looked at the same way. Like, even, you know what I mean? This is all gonna sound like a regurgitation of stuff you heard, but if you're hearing that over and over and you're not, it's not clocking to you. It's like you're not getting it. I'm standing on business. But like, if you don't get that, then I don't know if you get, like, if you can't even pay attention to that and soak it in, then that's that. But yeah, my thing is that they should basically be like a jungle gym, public jungle gyms. That definitely the young people should just, kind of like the Muslim world. They look for older divorced women because that's not haram to like bug them for sex, as opposed to women their own age. That sucks, right? Uh, No, yeah, honestly, I think they need to hang it up. If anything, you need to lean more into sex, and at least hopefully you'll find somebody that will kind of take care of you. You know what I mean? Second one, there was no such thing as hookup culture. Hookup culture was always hookup culture, and like it wasn't a problem as long as people had resources. But now that time is strained, and you have this idea that you can just boss men around for the very minimum, it kind of won't work. Like, it just won't work. I think that's what sucks for women, is that the nerdy people that they're used to taking advantage of get older and get wiser, and eventually it just becomes a thing. There's a reason why you'll never see a man's like outright, where are all the good women gone? Because like from the beginning we're taught how transactional they are, and it's like, if anything, men are romantic. They're the ones that feel crushes and do that. Women, even romantic or not, everything is transactional. That's why, like, when you tell them that they're not gonna get with the person who's quote unquote emotionally unavailable, um, what that really means, first of all, is that they have options. But even then, like, telling them or suggesting to them that they might have to like say hi to the other men that make passes at them that they're like perfectly fine ignoring is akin to like cursing them for some reason. And I feel like that bears repeating. Lastly, my third one, my unpopular one, is that I feel like, if honestly, if women just fucked more equally, unilaterally, or just like for once didn't get what they wanted, I think not only would the world be a better place, but you could solve like the problem of uh, abuse of minors, if you catch my drift. Because honestly, if it were so abundant, and like your average layperson could have it, instead of this weird kind of like paranoia where you think that everybody who's single is a creep and that's why they're single, and not time is tough and that we got like a generational recession and all the women did was like say, oh, look at these guys my age that are broke. I'm either gonna date younger for their bodies or older for their money. But I really wish I could just get money for nothing. And like, imagine. Can you imagine? And honestly, I feel like if we were all fucking normally, um, the people left would definitely be like, like, seriously, consider the fact that if sex were more available, men would be unwilling to get assaulted by older partners that technically shouldn't even be looking their way. But I think sex is so scarce that back in the old times it was so scarce that whenever an older woman showed interest in you, you're like, wow, really? And, when you're young, you just want to fuck every girl that just moves, in a sense. And because affection just skews to whatever boy is the hottest, like, there's just a huge chunk of people that aren't interacted with. And I feel like, honestly, for both genders to not have older people that could swoop in, if they just dated within their age range, it would be fine. Now, nothing's ever 100%. So I don't think it would stop the the problem of creeps hitting on younger people forever, but at least it would make the men less willing to get assaulted, cuz like I think the idea that women have that all men are just horny and they want it leads to men getting abused. But like, because we don't get sex enough, which is something you lean on, is why we get abused. Does that make sense? Like, if you're trained that you should want it and there's never a time where a guy doesn't want it, then you set him up for abuse and failure. And the worst part is, in any of the feminist lectures, you'll never get that. It'll just be more the other way of like, never criticize women or anything like that. Not like men never get enough sex to the point where they're starved and they'll accept anything, even a partner that's older than them that might take advantage of them. Sometimes you get lucky and you get guys that are choosy, and then they're like, yeah, this older woman was being creepy with me, but like, let's be honest, that's very rare. So, you want to talk about that? But no, no. Instead, we get this bullshit paranoia. But yeah, that's my thing. Like, if that happened, it would just be gone tomorrow. If people could be more open with that and be more realistic, it would be fine. Because in all honesty, my last one is that I don't think guys need to be lectured anymore. Like, I think this is overkill. This is overkill. There's so much other stuff that I recorded that it's gonna sound like I'm just a meninist. What is it, YouTuber, and I'm not, but I'm just saying, like, I think we really need to record this now because this honestly feels like the end of like the Yugoslav wars or like the end of the Rwandan genocide. It's almost like if I don't document this right now, you're gonna change history and deny that it happened, and that's kind of why I won't stand for like this fair talk about whose faults it was, this or that. But yeah, those are my unpopular sex opinions. Why does this feel like the cologne guy? Just completely random. I just don't get me wrong. I am very optimistic. I think all of this will soon crash on its head, and I think that I don't really want this kind of humiliation. Like, I don't feel bad for you kind of stuff. I do feel bad for the women, but like, I can't save them from themselves. I can't stop them from making bad financial decisions. And that's even from somebody who's made bad financial decisions. But you know what the difference between you and I is? Is the fact that I'm supposed to be the magical bread guy. So everything that I'm not doing is a personal failure. If I can't lift something, personal failure. If I can't make enough money, personal failure. If my job sucks and they're treating me bad, personal failure. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason why we hit a wall. But the only thing I can tell you, as I've said in plenty of other videos as well, is like, I can't be a NEET and I can't be jobless because the economy's only going to get worse, and I do want to take care of my loved ones. I can't do this fucking. The actual victory is not having a job and not participating in society. That's gay and stupid to me. But and not like gay as in homosexual. Gay as in I'm gonna keep using it as an insult anyway. No, but in all seriousness, I just yeah, I had those things on my mind, and that's pretty much it. And what I mean by that is they certainly should just be like I'm gonna say the phrase hot age gaps, and what I mean by that isn't what you think, but I certainly think that like the young studs and whatever young guns should definitely just get to practice on cougars or vice versa. It's not like they don't do that anyway. I feel like right now it's one sided, and like even the most average chick has like some of the craziest lore of like sleeping with people, and like guys, regardless of whatever they are, masculine, any kind of like on the spectrum of masculinity, just how can I say like we're not the commodity, which just we're the Johns, we're the wallets, the marks, the targets. It's like we're not throwing up the same numbers, but like I think that yeah, like honestly, get over your complaining and just open up a little more, and maybe you'll catch somebody. Like I don't see how withholding sex will get you what you want if it didn't work so far. Like your leftover goods. Like as a man, I'm already thinking of like I feel like leftover goods. Like I'm certainly past whatever, but that's what happens to guys. Um, I don't really buy into the red pill thing. That's like your value as a man only increases. But again, I will have to say that it is the cycle of humiliation. When you're young and in high school, the chicks you like are already dating seniors or college guys, and then when you get into college, those chicks are dating guys in their mid 20s. So it's like the humiliation doesn't stop until you're 30, and then all of a sudden it's like. And even then, the humiliation doesn't stop. You just become a part of it. Eventually, you become old enough to where you become the old guy. Marriage, this and that. And you think that we're not wise and we don't read that? It's like it's not clocking you. I'm standing on business. It's like you don't get that like even an idiot would notice that? Or what do you think? You know what I mean? Again, I just want to point that out. Like even a fat chick can bag people. Like I'll never get over that. Like I won't get over that. But not in a bad way. I don't hold all women to like this monolith of like fuck them. But I can say that like this is applies to many, and that it's just weird. Like I don't know, from this side we're not catered to the point where I would just have the pride to A, not only openly publish my L's, but B, like rue men and like say like, oh man, this is your fault. Like crazy. Anyway, yeah, older chicks definitely should be what the young guys cut their teeth on. And it's like you can't even not say that that's what older guys are. But you see, as I explained in the cycle of humiliation, there's never been a time where chicks weren't messing with older guys, and that's just because like have vagina will travel kind of thing. Like fuck, they can get far. And then all these memes too of like this guy was a total creep. He dated me, and I let him date me. Like, are we just gonna ignore the fact that you were already close to like a young adult? A, probably ignoring people your age, and B, doing that. It's just like you're trying to remove the agency from yourself. And that I do recognize that it is something messed up, but at the same time, you have the choice. You could have kept them crossed, you could have never went there, and that's not saying that we're blaming you for what they did, but I'm asking you now that we've had 10 years of that propaganda just on every platform, out of every chick's mouth, or not every, but a lot of them, and what does that really say about you? You know what I mean? But yeah, that's unpopular sex opinion is that honestly, older women, all the leftover women should just go, well, you might as well cut your losses and just start giving it out. Not completely for free, but then again, if I give you that leeway, you would just go back to pining for the same guy. Honestly, a lot of you feel like you're pining for the same guy. I know a few of these guys locally, and the spread that each of them get and the overlap is crazy. Like that'll have to be a story for another day. But imagine living in a semi small town and just knowing the dogs of that town. And for a while, I used to hate them. Any good feminist worth his salt
takes what the women tells him and he runs with it. And what the women tell him is it's actually the stud McHotcock's fault that he has a lot of game and that he just bags all the chicks, and it's not any of those chicks' faults that they're treated like that. And honestly, it's just bullshit because we all know that when it comes to our sexual urges, would we be sleeping with young women, older women, committed women? Yeah, honestly, anything that legal is legal goes. And it's just I'm just tired of the discrepancies. I'm just tired of every time we talk about it how skewed it is. And I've already had all kinds of episodes talking about that, so I won't even get into it. But let me just say, the environments chicks foster now is not anything romance can thrive in. If you're not actively punishing me and trying to pimp me out just because I'm not the guy that left you, wanting more, then you're ignoring me. And it's just, I don't. When are we gonna humanize the average looking dudes? Every woman is a victim, is a martyr, but every dude is just like a hostile person, whatever. And like I don't know how the left hasn't seen that you're gonna be continue to hemorrhage men, if not worse, if you never address that. But you don't want to address that because like perpetual victimhood is just so lucrative, as well as it doesn't challenge anybody to grow as a human being. Like you could just do condemnation, and that's the other thing. That's the other thing about perpetual victimhood, is that all this righteous anger that people have is why they'll never do anything. They'll never do anything about any of the files being released about these people allegedly doing monstrous things. They don't care because they live in a system that gives them stuff, and that stuff is run by these people anyway. And even beyond that, that's why it's easy to say, oh, I don't like wife beaters, you should kill them all. Oh, I don't like criminals, you should shoot them all. You get what I mean? Eventually, this kind of carceral punishment thinking is just like the more than those people know it. This hard, heavy-handed punishment, like it's the Wild West, is just it's a fantasy. It's kind of stupid, and that part of that is why we're just continuously living in these problems, because as long as you say point me to the direction of who I can blame. Who can I blame? Like the wanting a person to blame is like the personal. It's like the ultimate. You're probably immature, and you're probably like why do you think when people make fun of people that talk politics, they say, "Oh, those guys are over there solving world hunger." It's because those guys over there think that the key to world hunger is just my opinion went magically unchecked and magically had a zero sum budget that it could just throw money at, and that's it. And that's not. This is the same thing with women. Like if it were all men and this and that, one of you would have converted a man already and started a movement. Like the reason everything you don't like is gaining in popularity is because you can only shame people so much. And that's the thing. I have been called an incel, and I'm not a virgin, nor do I self ID as one. But when you lump me in with them, that kind of shows how wide your scope is getting. And it's almost to the point where you won't tolerate any kind of dissension in ranks. Am I saying that right? Descending in ranks, whatever. Like disagreement. That's just what is it? Fancy words for disagreement. Because I'm tired of leftist word salad. Also, that's why everything is political now. Because if all you do is watch leftist YouTubers that try to inject politics into the mundane, then everything becomes that. And then no conversation can be about video games or movies or TVs because politics has been injected by it. And if people, all they do is watch different formats of the same thing, whether that be on the left or on the right or in the middle or just in general, that kind of content, then they'll all get released back into the wild, and then they'll propagate that same bullshit. Because at the end of the day, we're just like Pokemon. We just spam our thoughts and we see what sticks. And if we can get a few people to agree, we can feel seen for a moment. But that's the problem with all this. I think it's gotta end. You gotta grow up a little, and that's what sucks. See, for a lot of men, we never get to have like the party fun life. Like even a girl that's like 30 years old, she could go somewhere, and as long as she plays, you know what I mean. she could be the party, but like a guy can't do that, and then nobody wants to invite a guy to parties. So like, if you don't get your partying out while you're young and in high school or college, it's over. It's over, and then you just magically have to grow up. Yeah, you could have parties with friends of yours, but it's not the same, especially not if everybody you're partying with is married. It's just different. But I suppose you'll just have to take it on the chin and move on. And that is what I advocate for as well. I just, I wish things were different. I wish women could just drop the pretenses, drop all this. I think because they bank themselves on male attention and they're just getting a lot of it, it just kind of gasses up their ego. And far be it from me to say that I don't think you can lecture men anymore. Like, even if you tried, I don't think you could. I don't think you would be heard or taken seriously, and that's because I think we've honestly beat that horse to death and then kept beating it. I think at any point now, if we kept beating it, the smoke would come out of the bones, and that's it. But yeah, no. That's, those are my unpopular opinions. That's it. I kind of hope you have a better day. I added this addendum just to get everything I needed to say off of it. I hope you're doing well, viewer. I hope you made it to the end. If not, that's cool.